now in the other half of the factory with Henry Schmidt, who's going to continue to explain the tempeh making process to us.
Okay, so from the other side, the other part of the shop, where we had the beans and screened, dried, milled, we bring the milled beans over here, and they're cooked in a kettle, a steam kettle. And this is what it looks like now. It's tipped over. To cook them, of course, the kettle stands upright and it's filled with water and it cooks. And after a certain amount of time, the heat is turned off, the kettle is tilted, and the cooking water is drained. So now it drains for a while, then we will bring it back up and we'll dry them using forced air. After the drying, they will go into a mixer, the beans, will go into a mixer where the spore culture is added to the beans. The spore is called Rhizopus oligosporus. It is unique to the making of tempeh. To my knowledge, it is the only place it is found and used in the making of tempeh. Tempeh is an Indonesian food, or originates in Indonesia. I said before that tofu is better known. Well, in Indonesia, tempeh is better known. It is the main, I understand it is the main form of protein consumed in Indonesia, is tempeh. So, beans are cooked, dried, inoculated with spores, then they're loaded into a container, where after which they're placed into an incubator, and for a period of time, almost very close to 24 hours, they're incubated. During that process, we control temperature, humidity, oxygen. The spores, which are very similar botanically to mushroom spores, very similar, they grow because the growing conditions are good. So it's a fungus, really, it's a fungus. And if you get the right conditions, whether it's between your toes or on your bread, if the conditions are right, fungus will grow. We've got all kinds of fungus spores in the air all the time. So anyway, this fungus, the spores grow, they attach themselves to the bean particles, and during the period of incubation, there's a fermentation that also happens of the beans. During that fermentation period and the growth of the culture, they attach the fibers of the culture, attach themselves to the beans and binds all of these little particles into a solid cake, quote unquote cake, or block of what is now no longer beans, but it's tempeh, because the beans have been cultured and fermented.
Okay, and why don't we go take a peek at one of those cakes right now?
Sure.